You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hello, I'm Juan Fernandez, and here's a look at your top stories. Just into our newsroom here. Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter has made his first court appearance in his illegal sporting betting case. Ippei Mizuhara was released on a $25,000 bond and is scheduled to return to court next month. Yesterday, federal prosecutors charged him with bank fraud, accusing him of stealing $16 million from the Dodgers star for illegal sports bets. Mizuhara was ordered not to travel, to contact Ohtani, or to gamble. His legal team is expected to speak in today's updates shortly. We'll bring you that when it happens live. A repeat DUI offender has been sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for killing a pregnant woman in Anaheim. Courtney Pandolfi pleaded guilty back in February for the 2020 drunk crash. Yesenia Aguilar was 35 weeks pregnant and on a walk with her husband when Pandolfi's white Jeep jumped the curb and hit her. Paramedics delivered Aguilar's baby in an emergency C-section. The baby survived. Aguilar's widow, James Alvarez, spoke at today's sentencing.
Every single day we try to do what's best for our pregnancy, to take care of her. We would go on walks. We would go to the doctor. We would do exactly what the doctor said because we wanted a healthy pregnancy, because we knew how important this child was in our lives. That moment, the only difference that we took that day is that we took a different route. And that route cost everything to me.
KCAL News reporter Michelle Geely will have much more on today's sentencing ahead at 6. A man who's been accused of attacking 2 women in Venice and leaving them unconscious is now behind bars. KCAL News reporter Rachel Kim has the latest.
I'm Rachel Kim at the Venice canals. Today, the LAPD announced the arrest of a man they believe is responsible for violent attacks on 2 women in separate incidents here last weekend. Investigators say 29-year-old Anthony Jones was picked up in San Diego late last night. They're not revealing how Jones was identified as a suspect or providing any details, but they do say there was a sexual element to the attacks. Now, LA City Council member Tracy Park represents and lives in the area. She is blaming LA's catch and release policy for the rise in crime and public safety problems. We are also getting reaction from residents here at the Venice canals. We'll have the complete story coming up on KCAL News at 4 p.m.
An El Monte police officer was injured after crashing into a beloved restaurant late last night. Security video shows the moment it happened. Take a look here. The police cruiser goes through the drive-through lane and into the side of Art's Burgers in El Monte just before 11:30 p.m. This was a chain reaction crash. Police say the cruiser hit another car, then slammed into the building, causing a partial roof collapse. The police officer was taken to the hospital to be checked out and is expected to be okay. A 14-year-old boy is dead after trying to run from a gun battle at a strip mall in South LA. KCAL News reporter Luz Delia Caballero has a preview of that tragic story.
I'm Luz Delia Caballero. We are in South LA near Alameda Street and Century Boulevard, where a 14-year-old boy was shot and killed. Detectives say a gun battle erupted here inside a South LA parking lot, and they say that the teen was actually behind the wheel of a Cadillac SUV trying to flee that gunfire when he was struck with a bullet in the neck. Officials found him slumped in that Cadillac SUV when they arrived, and he was transported to the hospital where he died. We've also learned that 2 people were initially detained for questioning, a man and a juvenile, but since then no arrests have been made. As far as the investigation, they are looking through security camera footage at this time. Again, this is an ongoing investigation to see if they find any leads whatsoever. We also went to talk to this teen's family, his mom, his dad, and they identified him as 14-year-old Alexander Aldana. They tell us he was a very loving son, full of life, loved to joke around, and they are visibly distraught, too emotional to go on camera, though they say they want those who did this behind bars. Coming up on KCAL News, we'll share more about what the family has to say and the very latest on this investigation.
All right, turning now to your weather, from sunshine and warmth to gloom and chilly conditions, we are expecting a wet weekend. Meteorologist Paul Deanno has the latest in your next weather.
Clouds are hanging tough on a Friday afternoon, a thicker marine layer harder to burn off, and we've seen cloud cover all morning and into the early afternoon in Orange County, in the Inland Empire, Metro LA County. A little bit of a break in Ventura County, but not much. It is much cloudier, much cooler today compared to the past couple days. And this is the result. We've had mostly cloudy skies all day long in Santa Monica and right at the beach. I'm not sure if we're going to see much of any sunshine today. None of us are going to get much sunshine over the weekend because our blocking ridge of high pressure, which usually hangs out much closer to us almost all spring, all summer long, it's gone. It has moved out, and now the jet stream is dipping to the south, allowing this storm to dive down from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way into Southern California. You may be thinking that's kind of strange. It is. Maybe it happens once or twice each spring. We've had it happen about 3 times over the past 3 weeks, and we get it this weekend. High temperatures this afternoon, and this is very contingent on sunshine coming out. If we see that, we'll get mid-70s in the Inland Empire, 78 for Riverside. We might make it to 72 in downtown Los Angeles. I'm getting less optimistic about that. Otherwise, we stay in the 60s. Most of us were in the 80s yesterday. Speaking of 80% chance of rain on Saturday, and that might be a little too low. The only days with a rain chance are Saturday and Sunday. The timing, not so great. Here's your extended forecast. Sun does come back next week. We will get back to the mid-70s, but we're pretty cloudy today. A high of only 72 if that sun comes out in Los Angeles. This weekend, nothing warmer than 62. Our inland valleys have seen a big drop. You were close to 90 yesterday. Today, 75. Tomorrow, 63, and Sunday's high only 61 degrees. Sunshine does come back next week. That's your forecast.
And this has been CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juan Fernandez. We're still waiting to hear from Ipe Mizuhara's legal team. When that happens, we'll bring it to you live right here on CBS News Los Angeles.